To some great league action here at TCR. We are back here tonight for what has been an amazing season so far of Golden Class, and we are back for round 12 out of 15. So we've only got 3 more races out of this one, not too much more to go in this one. It's season 9, and it's been one hell of a season, and we are in Belgium. So Spa-Francorchamps, everybody get ready for the famous, historic, iconic, absolutely outspoken track. And speaking of outspoken tracks and people, I've got one person that does not need an introduction. Mr. Sensation is with me again tonight. Hello, my friend.
Hey, what's going on, dog?
How's it going, man? It's really good to be here again with you tonight. How much do you like this? How much do you like this track?
It's one of my top 5 tracks of Formula One that I enjoy.
All right, perfect. Well, what are the other ones?
Well, if this game had San Marino, that'd be one. The old Hockenheim with the forest, that's 2. This one makes 3. Canada makes 4. And I actually like Monaco, which makes 5.
Okay, so those are actually really, really nice tracks. It's good to hear. Belgium, what really makes this one hell of a track, I think, is all of the really fast sweeping corners, both right and left. There's a bunch of them all over the place. Really nice straights, but they are hard to come onto. You have to get a really good exit out of really hard corners to get onto the straights and the DRS zones around here, but yet it's super hard to get away from everybody, so that always is a good sign for lots of battling. That's what we're gonna hope for here tonight again. Last week absolutely blew us out of the water with the amount of action. What are we hoping here for tonight in terms of DNFs? What do you think is gonna happen?
Oh man, well, I got a weird suspicion after watching your race last night. Once we get RC in here, that'll be what, 20 on the grid. I got half the field on the DNF, and yeah, I know it's kind of funny for me to say that, but yeah, I got half the field DNF, and I like the fact that it's dry conditions. I know with your race it was the wet qualifying. I see that you were struggling a little bit out of the corners, like you mentioned, but that was only in the rain. So I think here we should see some. We're gonna see some speed kills, definitely.
All right, so we're hoping for some crazy things here by the sound of Mrs. Sensation's prediction. So everybody grab some popcorn, grab your snacks, grab your drink, and get settled in. We're already on board right now with one of the fastest in this league. He's only come into this league only 4 races ago. This is going to be his 4th race or 5th race in this league. And guess what? He's 2nd on the board right now in terms of overall championship points. But that's not much to say, unfortunately, in this class of TCR this season, because we've got Failed UX, who is absolutely dominated from start to finish and is currently sitting at 203 points, whereas Flip-Flop Fish is 2nd with only 76. So what that means, as Flip-Flop Fish sets the fastest lap so far, the first pole lap currently is 143.4. But what that means for Failed UX is he only needs to finish technically within the top 3 in this race to completely clinch this season. But we also have La Taupe, who's currently tied for 3rd place. So that means he only needs to finish 4th in this race to clinch this championship. Wow. So that's gonna be one that he's probably gonna try and achieve here today. It's not one that's gonna be very hard for him to achieve from what we've seen so far this season. As we've got Z-Grease currently in 2nd, Jones currently in 3rd, La Taupe currently in 4th, Flying Jippo is currently in 5th, but they're all sticking very close to each other within the 144s all the way down to Bam Bam in 6th, and lots of people out on track right now.
Oh, not a nerd. He just failed, and he. Speaking of failed, he's actually just out on his outlap right now.
All right, let's go on board with him, and we're gonna see what he's gonna be able to do here today. He hasn't set a lap just yet. We're gonna try and ride on board with him and go through the lap as he does it as well. So we're just gonna have to wait until he comes up to the last couple of corners there. Actually, he's going through the straight right now. So it's gonna be a while until he makes it there, but who else do we have on track right now that is on a quick lap? Or it looks like everybody's coming into the pits right now after they've done a quick lap. So they're gonna be changing their tires. Oh my god, failed. They're coming super close with somebody in a McLaren. I think that was Flying Jippo. And the car is having a little bit of glitching issues as well. Ooh, he's weaving all over the place right beside him. They're side by side. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know Failed UX is on an outlap. I'm not sure if he's trying to beat him to the line or
Okay. I think he's trying to get maybe some drag off of him, or okay, it looks like he's picking up the pace. I don't know. Okay,
and now he's slowed down totally, so we're gonna have to just. Yeah, it is Flying Jippo who's giving him trouble here. So that's a very odd one. I've never seen this happening before.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Cross Hacker with a 5-place grid penalty. Collision with Coleman.
That's not gonna help him in qualifying here tonight, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, where does that put him at? Because W has retired from the session and not a nerd. So does that move him up to, what, 17th?
I mean, it's hard to say right now because we're gonna have to wait and see where everybody else is gonna end up, but I think that's gonna put him probably in the bottom of the map, as we are actually going to go on board right now with our championship leader, Failed UX, coming out onto La Sauce right now. Hard right, and then we're going up the hill into the mountains and into the most famous couple of corners around here, coming into a Rouge and Radion and onto the Camel Straight. This is where you open up the DRS and you go full out, pedal to the metal, all the way to the floor, everything you've got out of the car and the ERS, and then hard brake coming into Lacombe and coming out of Lacombe into Melmedy. And there's a little bit to go now into a really hard off-camber right corner called Brousset. And now we're into this weird little section where you go really fast, but then you have to get off the throttle to make sure you make this little left. It's called the double gauche. And into La Fun, a right-hander, and then there's going to be a quick left-hander into Campus. And only a few more real corners to go around this track. He does have a purple sector right now. He did have a purple on the first one as well. This is Paul Frere, little curb. And we've only got Blanchimont and the chicane to go. Let's see where this is going to put him on the board. This is going to be a pretty good lap if he can keep it up through the last couple of corners here.
I say he beats it by 2 digits.
And let's see what kind of time this is going to put him at. Oh, just missed out on it a little bit, and actually missed out on a bunch of time in the chicane. I think right at the end of the lap, I think that's where it really hurt him. So that only puts him right now in 3rd place. There's still a bit of time. There's 8.5 minutes to go. We do have Flip Flop Fish, Z-Greased, and Jones all out on their outlaps right now. Bam Bam, Hurricane, Gordo 4397. I think that is one of our new reserve drivers, possibly, because I do not remember seeing that name before.
Gordo, yeah, I believe so. I think so. But I've seen him race before, but I'm not sure if he raced in the silver class or here.
Oh, Jones having a little bit of an off, trying to let people through.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. And Flip Flop Fish is out on another fast lap, coming out to the end of the straight, setting another quickest purple first sector. He's really on an attack here. I mean, I'm really interested to see if he's going to stay in the silver class, I mean in gold class, I'm so sorry, or if he's going to move on to platinum class for next season, because he's definitely got a lot of pace. He's got a lot of focus in the race. He always does really, really well in qualifying, and manages to keep his head throughout the race. What would you do if you were in his position, doing this well after only 4 races, being in second place, beating pretty much everybody else, and then, you know, the season's coming to an end and 3 more races? Do you stick with it? Oh, and failed UX gets into the way of Flip-Flop Fish there a little bit, but he still manages to set a purple sector. But yeah, going back to that question, what would you do?
Good question. Well, the question is he really ready for it? Because, you know, you can be off to a hot start, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get to the next level, and it's like, what happened, man? Where you at? What's wrong? What's going on? There's a lot of questions in that. You don't want to put pressure on yourself. But at the same time, you know, you do want that competition. It all depends if he feels like he's ready for that next level. Do I think he is? Yeah. But it would have been nice to see definitely him and Fail go at it for an entire season to really see. I think both of them to excel to the next level.
I think so as well, and that's what I'm really hoping to see next season. If he stays in this league, and if he decides to really show his dominance and show what he's been showing us for the last few races, that's going to be one hell of a season to watch. You know, that's pretty much what I'm deciding to do for next season. I'm sticking to silver class. I want to improve my driving skill. Unfortunately, I'm still driving with some assist at this moment. Certain tracks I do use ABS, certain tracks I don't, just depending on sort of how I'm really feeling with my pace around that track. But medium traction has to go as soon as possible, because I've learned how much time you can lose through the corners using that, so definitely need to get rid of that. I'm on board right now with Jones. He's just set the quickest second sector, so he's definitely got quite a bit of pace through the curvy stuff around here. I'm wondering if maybe there's going to be a lot of setups that come into play on this track, because it does have a lot of sweeping corners, so you do need a decent amount of aero, but then for the really straight parts with the DRS, you want to be as quick as possible, as Jones now goes third. So maybe he's got a little bit more aero setup than some other people, so he's suffering through the straight stuff, but he's definitely doing really well through the curvy parts of the track.
Yeah, absolutely. The aero does play a huge factor, of course. What is it that you know, you don't have to give your secrets, but are you a one who likes more downforce or less downforce?
Honestly, around here in Spa, I usually go for a low downforce. Yesterday, because of the qualifying being in the wet, I sort of decided to go a couple of notches up, so I usually run a 3.3 or a 2.3 around here, depending on the tire. But I decided to go for a 4.4 yesterday, and then I lowered it down to a 3.4 in the race.
Oh man, Ricardo TV almost lost it there, going down that I forgot what section we call that sweeping downhill. What's that, left-hander? The
double something?
The double. Yes.
Yeah, the double left-hander. We'll just call it that for now. We're on board right now with Flying Jippo. He's on a brand new set of soft tires. He just made it through our Rouge and Radio really, really nicely. So coming into Lacombe right now, let's see where he's gonna be on the board. Doesn't set a purple sector through the first sector, although that did look pretty good. Cutting the corner a little bit, but getting away with it. Gordo retires from the session, so he did not set a lap at all. He's going to be in 15th place at the moment, unless Frosthacker, Ben Swerven, and FYKV can do anything. FYKV, he's one that we talked about a lot last race, because he came out of nowhere and then was getting into really good position. We have a car off track right now, somebody retired as well. Do you think he's going to be able to do something here tonight?
It's possible. I think it's anybody's game, actually. You know, I always like the catfish, but I think he's gonna have to deal with some other fishes in the sea, because there's a lot of people that really enjoy spa, definitely.
Yeah, and now Flying Jippo actually sets a second sector purple, so again, it looks like some of these people have a little bit of a higher aero downforce setup that allows him to go much quicker as he gets the back loose a little bit in the last chicane, so that's definitely gonna hurt his time. Coming across the line, he does go second. Great time, and he's one of the only people right now into the 43s. 143.7 for him. Flip Flop Fish is 143.3, and he's out on another outlap on another brand new soft tire. Z-Grease is doing the same thing, outlap on another soft tire, and Ricardo TV, Bam Bam, Failed UX, and SDK. Failed UX has dropped down all the way down to 9th.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, hacker. Oh, there we go. He goes 8th, so not too bad. Around here, he's on a medium, so he can definitely pull that medium a little bit further, especially if we have a race like we had last night. We had a total of 3 safety cars plus a VSC. So, you know, 2 of those came out before lap 7. So you can really pull out those tires much longer.
And you also had a longer DRS, which Seafreeze was mentioning last night, that it took until, I think, it's 22 laps here, so I think it took almost like nearly the entire race before the DRS zone was actually activated.
Yeah, I think it was lap 9 or 10 that we made it to before we had DRS. It was pretty crazy. Every time we had incidents under the restart, I think this is one thing that, you know, I haven't really brought up in this league, but definitely needs to be said. It's everybody needs to keep their distance when you're under safety car and restart and everything else like that. We know you want to gain time. Oh no, Flip-Flop Fish. He had... Oh, and he retires on purpose. He smashed into the wall, but he had a purple first sector, and then he invalidated it. So, Z-Greased, what can he do now? He's currently in 3rd. He's the only one I think he's going to make it in terms of the top 5 right now, outside of Ricardo as well, who's out on this quick lap right now. But let's see if Z-Grease can improve a little bit. He only needs to gain half a second here to be in contention for pole position, or, you know, he only needs about a 1/10.5 to be second. Flying Jippo has no more chance of improving. He's already done his qualifying. So that's it for him. Jones is retired as well. Dre is already done. Latope is done. Frosthacker is not going to have enough time. So this is pretty much the only person in contention right now. He's coming to the end of the 2nd sector. Let's see if he is improving at all. Yes, that's a purple sector by 1.7 tenths of a second. So exactly what he needs to jump into 2nd, but not going to be enough to get into 1st, into pole position at the moment. Still, really good lap. As long as he can keep it through the last chicane, he'll be in for a position on the 1st row here at Belgium Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, a little bit of a tail whip at the end.
2 digits.
He goes 143.543, so he was only 0.2 of a second away from Flip-Flop Fish. The closest I think we've had anybody in the last 4 qualifying sessions to make it as close to him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so let's run through the grid as it looks right now. We've got Flip-Flop Fish in pole position, Z-Grease in 2nd, Failed in 3rd, so he did improve quite a bit. Flying Jippo in 4th, Jones in 5th, Ricardo TV in 6th, Dre in 7th, Latope in 11th. We've got Frosthacker in 9th. Latope in 8th, Frosthacker in 9th, Bam Bam in 10th, STK Hurricane in 11th. And we'll look at the rest of the grid once we rejoin here. Z-Grease improving his time at the end of the session to put him on the front row. But your favorite guy, the Fish himself, he's on pole again.
On pole again. I'm interested in the tire strategy for this one.
Yeah, so far we got Latope on medium in 8th, Frostsucker in 9th on mediums as well, Bam Bam in 10th, STK Hurricane in 11th, Coleman in 12th, W in 13th, Red Wing in 14th, Clueless in 15th, Gordo in 16th, Not a Nerd 17th, 18th goes to Bedswarm, FYK 85. He's in 19th, starting at the very back of the grid. Flip Flop Fish, Zegris, and Failed, your top 3 in qualifying tonight. And they're going to be the top 3 probably battling for the win here. It's my call. What do you think we're going to see here tonight?
Well, first of all, let's remember the 5 place grid penalty. Again, who cut that? I forgot who. Somebody had a collision with Coleman. I think they had to drop down somewhere.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
But we're going to have to wait and see where that ends up. I missed that on the final results of qualifying.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it, champ.
Great.
Now, what was your question? I'm sorry. I got away from your question for a
Yeah,
second.
well, who do you think is going to be in contention for podium here tonight?
You know what? I actually like 2 people. Frost Hacker and Latope, the French candy.
And then obviously the flip-flop fish.
Oh yes, the flip-flop fish. Yes, the flip-flop fish, catfish will definitely be in the hunt. But I don't know. I was eyeing Frost Hacker. I like his pace, and he looks pretty quick on those mediums. So I think it's going to be a strange one here in Spa. Definitely.
All right, well, let's see who's starting on what. So, Pope, Sitter, Flip-Flop Fish is starting on softs, and actually all the way down to Dre Diggy in 7th. Everybody is on the soft tire. Latobe, the French Candy, is on the medium tire, so he's going to be one of the people who's going to be trying to keep up with the front pack for as much as possible, and then conserving those tires and capitalizing on a one-stop. Now, I did a one-stop here yesterday from a medium to a soft tire. My mediums were brand new at the start of the race because we were qualifying in the wet. So I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to keep that medium, and then if he's going to be able to go to a soft. That soft burns out in about 7 laps around here. So definitely going to be interesting to watch him. So he's going to be one to watch for the rest of the race. Bam Bam in 9th is also on soft. STK Hurricane in 10th on soft. Coleman and W 11 and 12th, they're going to be on mediums as well. Now, if I was starting below the 10, the top 10, I would probably all be going on mediums. What kind of strategy do you run starting on the softs?
Oh man, well that's going to be an early pit, so I don't know. Some people might try to hang as long as let's say like if Flip is trying to push the tires to its limits. Somebody like Segrist might try to do the same and try to follow his lead and then try to jump on the mediums as quick as possible. But that all depends on, and you know, everybody's setup is different and everybody's driving ability is different too. Some are aggressive, some know how to manage their tires. It all depends. I would probably say I'm looking for somebody to go into the pits around lap 8, lap 9, then jump on the mediums to the rest of the end of the race.
All right, so that's going to be a bold strategy. Let's see if anybody's going to follow that through. I think we're going to see a few people possibly going on to hard tires as well. I've seen that last night, and it actually worked out for some of the people that ended up at the top. My strategy worked out pretty good, but the only thing that it did for me is it put me into traffic when I came out, and actually I lost a bunch of positions. When you make a stop here a little bit earlier, you do get the DRS, and I actually had to catch up to people for a couple of laps to gain DRS again. So I only ended up in 5th at the end of the race, but then because of penalties, I ended up in 3rd. So just scraped the podium as we're coming around the end of the formation lap here. We forgot about RC7. He did join into the session, but unfortunately he didn't get to qualify. So we do have a full grid of all 20 players here tonight, all 20 drivers.
Yes, we do. And this is where I wanted to see. I wanted to see 20 on the grid, and I got them.
All right, so this is going to be a very exciting one, at least judging by what we had last night in Silver Class. We're hoping for a bunch of the same, a bunch of action, a bunch of battling, and we are getting ready to go here We're gonna have the lights come on in a second. I'm trying to find a good angle to watch from. Here we go. 5 lights are on, and we go racing in Belgium for round 12 of the golden class of TCR season 9. And into the first corner we go. A bunch of touching and scraping. Oh, we've got people going wide here. We've got it looks like SDK Hurricane making contact, and somebody's in the wall at the back. We've got a virtual safety car. It looks like W, FYKV, and a couple of other people had some incidents. SDK Hurricane had a little bit of a touch and went wide, but he looks to be fine right now. Let's see if anybody's got damage. I'm gonna... Oh, RC is out of the session. He's left the session. I think he's got some connection problems.
Yes, he does. Coleman has a 5-second penalty with STK Hurricane.
I'm trying to see if anybody's got any damage towards the back here.
Somebody has a broken end plate. I don't know who that is.
Ben Swerven and W, they both have damage. It also looks like RC7 definitely has front wing damage as well, and he's left the session because of connection. Latobe is back to 15th place, so he definitely got tied up in that whole incident. He just overshot the corner as well. He's got massive damage on the front, so he's definitely going to try and have to recover as much as he can. That's unfortunate for him. Frosthacker is down to 13th place as well. I'm not sure what happened there. Going back to the front now, Flip Flop Fish, as we go back racing, we no longer have the VSC on. He's out by half a second in front of Z-Grease. Failed UX still in 3rd, Flying Jippo still in 4th, Ricardo still in 5th, so those people didn't really change positions or anything. Bam Bam still in 6th, and Dre Diggy is still chasing him down as well. Ricardo and Bam Bam are actually really far back, but we've got the main 4 people right now all the way down to Flying Jippo trying to chase each other down, as Flying Jippo is trying to go around the outside of Failed UX into the last chicane. It does get the inside coming into the last corner, and he gonna get a good run here? No, they're still side by side, so this is gonna be very exciting coming into turn 1. They don't give each other even an inch here, and Failed UX tries to defend the corner. They're still sort of side by side, but Failed UX manages to get just a little bit in front. That was an interesting start. I would have imagined we would have had a safety car.
Yeah, we should have, but I guess not. I guess, yeah.
All right, okay. And Flying Jippo still attacking, and we've got a Sector 1 yellow. Somebody has spun out there, and somebody has crashed.
STK.
So that's unfortunate. Another bad race start from him. He's been always getting tangled in the first couple of laps. Flying Jippo goes really wide and goes onto the grass, cuts the corner a little bit. I'm not sure what happened there, but he does overtake Failed UX, so he's up into 3rd place right now. Failed is going to have to chase him down. We've got Latope and FYKV, both of the Haas's into the pits, so double stacking, that's not going to help them out at all.
No, that's going to kill time. That's going to kill it.
And on this game, it's so slow. Even when the guy is already left and you're coming in 5 seconds behind them, they're still getting their tires out. They're still getting ready. They really need to improve that for the next game, hopefully. But now Flying Jippo is actually pulling away from Failed UX and trying to catch up on Z-Grease, but Z-Grease is already outside of the 1 second gap from Flip Flop Fish, and that's gonna be really hard for him to try and close in that gap now, because he's not gonna have the DRS as we're coming to the end of lap 2, 1 second behind the car in front. Ricardo making a move on Bam Bam. They're still battling, and now Dre Diggy is going to try and come in all of that battling and try to capitalize as Bam Bam manages to keep the position in 5th place. But now Dre is coming around the outside of Ricardo, and he manages to make the move stick, and he goes into 6th place. So already we've got a bunch of shuffling, but now Ricardo, as long as he gets a good run through Au Rouge and Radion, he will have a good DRS run on Dre, getting actually a double slipstream because of Bam Bam in front of him as well. And they're coming into the corner now. He did catch up by a bunch of time, but that's not going to be enough to make a move. We've got Failed UX is really, really close to Flying Jippo now. He's going to try and possibly make a move here. Yes, he does, going down the inside. They're side by side. They touch a little bit, but they managed to keep it clean, sort of. And Flying Jippo stays in third place for now, but Failed UX is definitely keeping the pressure on him and not letting off.
We got the train going with Frost Hacker and Red Wing and Coleman and Mr. Clues. And they're all close by each other, man. This is real scary right now.
Yeah, we've had that train going on for a couple of weeks now, a couple of weeks in a row. Always getting, I guess those guys really matching up each other on pace. And I mean, that's great. That's great to see. That's exactly what we're here for, to see some good battling and some competitive racing. Dre
Absolutely.
is now closing in very, very quickly on Bam Bam. It's only a matter of time when he's going to make his move. He might make it after the chicane, or he might make it into the chicane. He does move over a little bit to the inside, but doesn't do it. Flip Flop Fish setting the fastest lap right now with a 147.9. So he's setting that in clean air without DRS or anything on a 3-lap-old tire. So yeah, he's absolutely impressing me again and again, race after race.
Oh, imagine if he had DRS available. Yeesh.
Yeah, and he will possibly later on in the race when he makes his stop. Bam Bam goes super wide up the hill into our Rouge, and that keeps the door completely open for Dre to come through. He does have DRS. Bam Bam also has DRS. Failed UX is making a move on Flying Jippo, and he does make it stick into Lacombe. So now he's back into third place. That's going to be enough for him if he keeps in that position. But now Flying Jippo is making move into the inside down the right-hand downhill, and he makes that stick. They are going at it back and forth, changing positions between third and fourth. That's all sort of allowing Zegers to get away. He's now over 3 seconds ahead.
Definitely, and Lutope has the fastest lap as of right now.
He's probably pitted. He did pit. We remember he had a bunch of damage. He was involved in the first turn incident on the first lap. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to catch up. But he did go... Oh, he went on a soft tire again. Yeah. I think he definitely needs to work on his tire strategy for next season.
Well, yeah, that'll definitely cost you. You gotta work on that. It's tough. It's tough. Sector 1, yellow.
That looks to be a slow Haas, and that I think is FYKV. So he's back behind everybody, unfortunately, tonight. But that's what happened to him last race, and he did manage to bounce back, just capitalizing on all the incidents and safety cars and everything that was happening. So that might happen again tonight. I'm still watching this amazing train at the front that goes all the way down to 5th place. Dre, Failed, Flying Jippo. Those guys are constantly battling each other. It's
We got spin out. We got a spin out. That is Red Wing. I don't know what happened. He was leading the train when you said, oh, watch out. Yeah, let him go by.
Yeah, Failed UX made a move around Flying Jippo, so he's back into 3rd place again. Flying Jippo has now got his own teammate, Dre Diggy, to battle with, and Dre is on a huge lap. Oh, and he gets wide, and he touches the grass and goes a little bit wide, but he was actually on the purple first sector, and I was going to say that he's catching up on them super, super quick. He was trying to make a move into the corner at the end of the straight on his teammate, but didn't quite make it stick there. Flying Jippo is not letting off Failed, so he's still behind them by as close as possible. Frost Hacker going back to this train at the back here. I do want to see what's going on over here, because we've been only paying attention to the front, which is unfair. So let's see over here. We've got Mr. Clueless in 11th, trying to catch up on Frost Hacker, who's trying to catch up on Gordo, who's I think is a new driver here tonight, making his debut in this season. So that's going to be very interesting to see where he's going to end up here tonight. But these guys aren't, they don't seem to be closing in each other. Clueless is closing in on Frost Hacker. They're all sort of following the same strategy right now on the medium tires, which is I think why they're all tied up together. And if you look on the track map, you actually see how they're all sort of divided into the separate trains. You got Flip Flop right ahead coming into the end there. You've got Z-Grease right behind them, and then you've got a train of Failed, Flying Jippo, Dre, and Bam Bam pretty much keeping up together.
again.
Oh, and we've got somebody in the wall, and that was Gordo. So he is now dropping down very, very quickly into 11th place, and he's probably going to lose a few more positions because of that. That allows Mr. Clueless to move up into the points into 9th, and Frosthacker moving up into 8th, Coleman moving up into 7th as well. So this is working out for them not too badly.
Well, I just noticed with the Red Bulls, I think they both need, well, yeah, they need to get off the softs. I think that's why they're spinning out, because I think the heat is getting to those tires, and they rapidly, you know, they're spinning out for like no reason. So I think it's time to get some new shoes, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. I just pressed the wrong button there for a quick second. I do apologize. But yeah, we've got Failed UX. I'm coming back to this front train here. Bam Bam is closing in on Dre Diggy behind the train at the end. So this is all going to come in very, very close into action when they all sort of bunch up in the next few laps. Also, as you said, these are all people who are running on soft tires. They're on them for 5 laps already around this track. This track does burn them out. Temperatures go up, and on this particular game, on this edition, on this year, it's super, super hard to manage your tire wear and your tire temperatures. There's just nothing you can do in the setup or anything else like that, like it used to be for the last couple of years. So yeah, definitely. And you got to remember, they've done qualifying laps on these tires as well. So technically, they did, you know, a couple of laps, including the out lap and the in lap. They did a quick lap on the tire, and now they've done 5 or 6 laps. They're going on to the 6th lap right now. So yeah, they're definitely getting to
Jones. Oh man, Jones.
Where is he? Oh, he is
into the wall. I was following him, and he was right behind Red Wing. He was trying to pass him.
I'm on board with W right now, trying to go around the track to see if we can see him. He's going to be on our left-hand side here, and he is in the wall. So I guess he got a tail whip coming out of that little curb, going to the left-hand side, and just couldn't catch it in time. That is going to be very unfortunate. We've got a safety car because of that crash. So this is going to help out everybody who's out in front on those soft tires. I mean, look at Flip Flop. He's over 7 seconds, or he was 7 seconds ahead of Z-Grease. Z-Grease is like 5 seconds ahead. Flying Jippo is ahead of everybody as well. So wow, they're all going to really, really benefit from this.
Yes, they are. They're definitely going to. I mean, now it's a whole new ball game now. Let's do it all over again.
There couldn't have been a more perfect time for the safety car to come out, for all of these guys right now to go into their pit stop. And now, the one interesting thing that's going to be to see here is what sort of tires are going to go on. So I'm going to follow Flip Flop Fish at first and see if he's going to go on the mediums or if he's going to play it safe and go on the hard tires. You know, if it was up to you, what would you do right now?
I go with the mediums. I hear that the hard tires are good, but they're slow.
Yeah, they could be. It really depends on how you manage them and also on the track. Certain tracks, they take, you know, a good 10 laps to actually come to life. But overall, they're not too bad in certain tracks. Like, as I said, yesterday in Silver Class, we had people who went on that hard tire and they did just fine. But Flip Flop Fish at the moment is going on the medium. So he's following your advice. Z-Grease, let's see what he's going to do here. Frosthacker, 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. That's another medium tire for him as well. Flying Jippo also onto the medium. Failed UX onto the mediums as well. Mr. Clueless jumping everybody on that stop. He's up into 4th place right now. He's on the medium tire that he started on. So he will have to make a pit stop, but not for another maybe 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah.
That definitely can come into play for him. He's going to be on a fresher tire towards the end of the race. Sorry. He's also going to have a quicker tire if he goes on to the softs, if he decides to, which is probably what he's going to do. So he's coming back into it. Ben Swerven is also coming back into it out of nowhere. Dre Diggy is one of the people that decided to go on a hard tire. So we do have some takers for that, as well as Bam Bam and Frosthacker. They also went on a hard tire on the stop. And some people decided not to pit, like Ricardo. He was in the pits just 2 laps ago to fit those mediums. So again, he's jumping into a good position here.
Yeah. The Williams team of Coleman and Frosthacker. I'm really interested to see what Frosthacker's going to do here in 12. Coleman's in second, so Coleman actually had some pretty good pace from what I was seeing from that long train before the safety car. So it's going to be interesting after this startup again to see how Coleman is going to be right behind the Catfish. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
And actually, Coleman does have a 5-second penalty. I think he did serve it in the pits if he did pit. So did Bam Bam and Latope. They both had 5-second penalties as well. We've got a 3-second penalty for Clueless at the end of the race, and Frosthacker with a 5-second that he just got right now. So that was a quick run through all the penalties and incidents so far. Not a Nerd 420. He managed to jump up into 9th position because of starting on those medium tires and not having to pit as well. So as long as he can keep some good pace at the restart and manage to keep within DRS, he might have a pretty good chance here tonight as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's said anybody's game, man. Anybody's game. That's how many safety cars we got so far? We have the virtual one. We have this one.
That's it so far. We've actually had a pretty good clean race for the first 6 or 7 laps or so. But that crash of Jones, who lost it coming out of the end of the second sector there, a little bit of a unfortunate incident for him, definitely. So, and that's what brought out the safety car.
Yes.
So we're on lap 9 out of 22, which means we're pretty much almost at the halfway point. The safety car here, judging from last night, doesn't like to stay out for too long on the track. It doesn't actually do the full 3 laps. So be ready for possibly the safety car coming in at the end of this lap, which it did a couple of times last night. It only did a couple of laps. And I think it's doing that on purpose because it's such a short race. You don't want to lose laps behind the safety car.
Right.
So that's why we see Flip-Flop Fish wobbling all around and swerving, trying to get some heat into those tires, into those brakes. Oh, and we've got Coleman sticking too close behind them, going side by side. That's definitely one of the dangers here. Safety car in this game goes a little bit too slow, would you say?
Unless you're Lewis Hamilton, you feel the same way.
I completely agree with him on that. I mean, it's super slow.
Telling the team in the garage, hey, let's tell the safety car, tell Charlie, gotta get the safety car going.
Yes, sir.
Man. This is great.
Alright, so far we don't see any messages of the safety car coming in, but anything can happen here. It might be that we're going for another lap.
No, I think it's going to, by the time it hits the 3rd sector, I think it's going to say it's going in.
Alright, let's check it out. We do have the whole field bunched up together again, so that's going to let those people who were really far behind, like FYKV and Latope, they all caught up again, RC7. So Red Wing is up into 14th place right now, and there's the message. Safety car is in on this lap, so we only spent a couple of laps on the safety car, which is exactly what we want to see here. We don't want to waste too many laps to the safety car. It's now going to take a while until DRS is restarted, so that's going to give everybody a chance to catch up to the leader, which is currently Flip-Flop Fish. He's been dominating the whole race from start to finish. He's been on pole. He hasn't really let up anything so far, and now he is pacing the field for this first restart in the race.
Okay, and here we go.
Alright, he seems like he's going now, and the field is following in. Now this corner is going to be a little bit tricky. Some people... Degrees overshoots the corner, and then he overshoots the last corner as well, and now let's Mr. Clueless try and get ahead of him, but he doesn't get a good run either, so a lot of people have cold tires, it looks like right now. Flying Jippo is now making a move down the inside. Clueless going wide again. Z-Grease is trying to catch up into 4th place. He goes up again, and now Mr. Clueless is right on his tail. They're actually going side by side into our Rouge. That's bad news. Let's see how they're gonna make it through. Are they gonna make it through? They do make it through. through, and behind them also Failed UX and Dre are now catching up on this massive train and battle. Failed UX is now going down the inside of Zegrees into the left-hander. Huge corner, oh my god! Zegrees slams on the brakes and Dre spins out! Almost hits the wall, he keeps it together. He needs to rejoin safely. A bunch of cars is gonna go by, and he's actually gonna be at the very back of the grid now. The Flip-Flop Fish is getting ahead. Coleman is managing to stay within a couple of seconds behind him. Flying Jippo is now getting ahead of Clueless, who's a couple of seconds behind. Failed UX is trying to catch up on them. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That looks to be Dre Diggy. I think he's probably going to retire. He's moving again, so he's fine. So he's going to probably try and continue here and trying to recover, but that was a massive moment for him coming into that corner and making a tiny little bit of contact and spinning out.
Speaking of spinning out, Frost Hacker, he's losing that back end on those hards. I think you're right. It takes a little bit for those tires to warm up, and he seems to be struggling. I think he's getting back in the groove right now, but he's struggling.
Yeah, those hard tires, they also need to come to temperature, and they need to come to life. There's just like the pace in them doesn't come out until about, you know, at least like 5 or 6. Oh, Zegrees is having trouble making his braking points everywhere. He's going wide again in the last couple of corners, and now he's dropping, or he's moving a position ahead of Ricardo actually. So I guess Ricardo didn't get a good run there either. And now we've got Ricardo and Not a Nerd. Oh, Not a Nerd into the wall. He goes spinning out, losing the back, and that's another incident. Is this gonna bring out anything else? No, he seems to be going up again. He makes it the round, but that's gonna bring him all the way down to 17th place. Mr. Clueless, Frosthacker is going wide through Radion. Mr. Clueless gets a penalty there, but I didn't see what it was for.
No, I missed it myself. I was so caught up in the in that crash, Sector 1. That's should be
that's Not a Nerd. He's retired from the race now. And Ricardo going wide. Oh, and he's going wide again into the next corner as well. And now Zegrees is catching up on him. Zegrees dropped down to 7th place. He's been having trouble making his braking points on any of the corners in the first couple of laps after we restarted. So lots of people having trouble with their mediums and hard tires on this track.
It's crazy.
But he's catching up to Ricardo again. He's braking a little bit early not to run into the back of him here. This is turning into one hell of a race to watch. Everybody who's watching, thank you so much for watching so far. Please leave your comments. Who do you think is going to be on pole here? I mean, in the win here tonight or on podium? What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the race? We want to hear your opinions as well. But so far, this has been absolutely ridiculous. We've had battles everywhere, and right now I'm watching Ricardo catching up on Mr. Clueless, who's been dropping positions since the restart as well. DRS is going to be enabled as we've got Clueless running super wide and Ricardo jumping into 5th place, Zegrees jumping into 6th. Now Bam Bam is going to try and make a move on him into the first corner, coming into the braking zone now. He going down the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Looks like it. So Mr. Clueless drops 4 positions in a matter of 2 corners, and now he's got Gordo right behind him as well, and we do have DRS enabled.
Man, that's a mouthful.
Bam Bam is getting another wide run through Radion, and now Clueless is going down the inside. What is he going to be able to do here? Is he going to make it stick? Hopefully no contact. Oh my god, Bam Bam just turned in on him and almost made contact there. At the back, we've also got Frosthacker and W fighting it out. They've been at it for the whole race.
Yes, I've been following Frosthacker, and he seems to get the pace, but he's still struggling a little bit.
Not a Nerd has now left the session after he retired after having a little bit of a spin out in turn 2. That was unfortunate for him. Mr. Clue is going wide again through the double left-hander. Not a good run through there, and he's losing time on Bam Bam, who now needs to catch up on Zegrees if he wants to move up a few more positions in this race. Bam Bam is actually on the hard tire, so he might come into it at the end of the race here when they come to life a little bit more. Zegrees is almost a second behind Ricardo now. Now he is a second behind, so they're actually spacing out, and they're gonna slowly start coming out of DRS zone.
Yeah, they are definitely. And speaking of Mr. Cruz, is it about that time that because of, oh, he ran into the back of him.
Oh, Bam Bam! Mr. Clueless runs into the back of Bam Bam, making him almost spin out. Now, Gordo making contact, and Gordo spins out as well. Coming out of the corner, he was a little bit too aggressive. Oh, and now he's blocking the way for Clueless. Everything happening in this race. This is ridiculous to watch. Van Swerven and RC7 are now catching up to the top 12 people. They were all the way at the back. FYKV is now in 12th. Red Wing now moving up into 11th. Latope is now up into 10th and quickly catching up on W. He's going to be within DRS zone right now. Coming onto the straights, Frosthacker is up into 7th. He's around Bam Bam, and now we've got W going around Bam Bam as well into 8th place. So Bam Bam having a bit of a bad run there after the half of a spin out that he got from Mr. Clueless tapping his back. Clueless having damage, then being blocked by people spinning out as well in front of him. And now we've got a yellow flag in 1 and 2.
Red Wing went off. Something's going on with these Red Bulls, man. They are really having a hard time.
RC7 tried to make a move around Clueless, and then Clueless is now fighting off the position back again, and they're just fighting wheel to wheel, literally touching each other. RC7 is now disconnected from the session, unfortunately. Is showing his X on top of his car, so I think he might be disconnected, or it might be just a glitch. Not really sure what's going on there.
I think it's a glitch because I see him good.
Alright, so now Latope is catching up to Bam Bam. He's only a couple of tenths behind. He's going to be trying to fight back after having a little bit of a bad incident in the first stint.
Oh, Mr. Clues! He touched it back.
And he is in the wall now and spun out, so that's going to drop him all the way back to 18th place. He's going to be last on the grid running right now. I'm going to rejoin here with Latope, who's closing in on this beautiful train of himself, Bam Bam, W, and Frosthacker in front. So if everything goes well here, we still got 8 laps to go. He can jump all the way up to 7th place if he keeps up the pace, but he is having a little bit of trouble coming out of turn 1, the back stepping out on him again. Coleman getting another penalty, a 3-second for multiple warnings. It's definitely easy to cut some corners here. Who do we have spinning out now?
No, we got RC7.
No.
And Gordo.
Oh well, they're still going at it, so they're still fine.
They're still fine, but man, it's scary. It's a scary time going up the Rouge. Okay, now they're on the back straight.
Now RC is going to come up the back straight, but he does have DRS now open, so he's going to try and make the move. No, he doesn't. He sticks to the back of him, thinks twice about it, and I think that's actually the smart thing to do. Gordo is having trouble coming out of corners. You can see the back sliding all over the place. So either he's overheating those tires, he might be pushing them too hard, and he's going wide now into the right-hander as well. Definitely hard to stay around here. I'm not sure what's happening there. It's either temperature or just tire wear could be coming in by now as well. He's been on those mediums for 6 laps, and they might be at around 15% wear by now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those hard tires, like you said, man. They're, after seeing these people struggle, it's I don't know if it's a good idea to stay away, or like you said, don't push too hard on them. Let them warm up first before you start. Oh,
Latope is trying to make a move around Bam Bam, but he touched the grass there and almost lost the car. He managed to keep it, but he lost a bit of time.
Coleman went down places. Coleman, oh, he's in the pits. He's stuck.
No, that's
he straightened it out. He straightened it out, but he was stuck in that tight pit turn.
That will lose him a lot of time there, so that's going to drop him a bunch of positions. This now moves Latope into 9th and Bam Bam into 8th. They are still within DRS of W, so they need to catch up. Dre Diggy gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings as well. Lots of people with penalties here tonight. Frosthacker, another 3-second penalty as well, just as I was saying that. So I guess it's super easy, or maybe people are just trying to cut some corners and really pushing hard right now to try and catch up to some better positions.
Yes, they definitely are, but man, I mean, pace yourself, people, pace yourself.
Well, there's only 7 laps to go, so not much to go here. Definitely, it's now or never for some people, but I think some people we're going to see coming alive right now are going to be the likes of Bam Bam W and Frosthacker. If they've been keeping good care of those hard tires, they're definitely going to come into play pretty soon, as those on the medium tires are going to, at least in theory, start having some trouble and start losing time.
Yeah, I think for some, they're definitely looking like they're falling off at this point. So,
yeah, and just to give everybody a reminder at the front right now, Flip Flop Fish is still in first. Flying Jippo 6.2 seconds behind them in second. Failed UX 3.6 seconds behind Flying Jippo in third. So currently, if Failed UX keeps his position, if he doesn't have any major penalties that might drop him back, he will be the crowned champion of Season 9 of Golden Class in TCR here in Belgium with 3 more races to go. I mean, if that's not a Hamilton performance, I don't know what is.
oh yeah, definitely. But hey, you never know. There might be another safety car somewhere along the way.
And anybody can spin out and have an issue. We've seen people, you know, just going at it perfectly, and then they come around the corner and they just go a little bit too eagerly on their loud pedal. Oh, as I was saying, that Latope tries to do a little bit of a brave move in Radion and the Rouge. It sort of worked out for him in the end, as he's now going around Bam Bam into 8th place. And he's going to be able to keep that into this chicane, coming through the right-hander now. He's now got 1.7 seconds of a gap in front of him to W, so he's going to try and have to catch up on that. He's locking up into some corners, so definitely having a little bit of wear on those medium tires. W is within DRS zone still of Frosthacker. We've got a yellow flag in 1 and 2.
It's Gordo. Gordo went off again. Oh man, here he got an in-play.
And he's disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. So now is his EI retiring on track? Is he? Oh, Mr. Clueless gets a 3-second penalty, and somebody else got a 3-second penalty as well. It flipped so fast they didn't even catch it. We've got Ricardo now is closing in quickly on Failed UX. I'm not sure what's going on to Failed, but he seems to be going a little bit slower than he was before. Flip Flop Fish is still going faster and faster, just setting the fastest lap right now. As now Ricardo is trying to make a move around Failed. They almost make contact, and then he almost lost the back. Still gonna keep behind them, so gonna have to wait until they get into the DRS zone, probably at the top of the hill here.
Oh yeah.
But that also is allowing Zegrease to catch up on both of them. And he's only a couple of tenths behind. He's going to have DRS on them as well.
Oh boy.
Let's see who's going to make the bravest moves here. So it seems like Zegrease is not gaining any time, but Ricardo is making the move on Failed UX, and he's got massive speed down the front. And he comes out into 3rd place as Coleman just had the fastest lap. He's on a brand new soft tire he pitted just 2 laps ago. So no surprise there.
Oh, it's definitely. Oh man, what do you think about Ricardo's chances?
Well, Ricardo needs to be consistent. As long as he can keep this pace consistent, because as long as you I mean, if you notice throughout the last few races or any races that we watched him in, he starts off really well, then he has like a little dip throughout the middle of the race, and then he sort of, you know, comes back into it towards the end of the race. I think he needs to sort of even that out and just sort of keep position and keep your pace, and he'll be absolutely in contention for, you know, championship, top 3 for sure.
Well, it looks like right now he's pulling away a little bit, got a little bit of gap, a little bit of space.
Oh, Zegrease is going for, or at least thinking of going for a move here on Failed. Failed is just dropping positions really, really quickly. He's on the same sort of strategy as Zegrease and on the same sort of tire, so it's definitely not down to tire wear, but it's all down to how, I guess, they manage it throughout the race, and how they're managing their ERS and their DRS and everything else like that. So now they are super close to each other. Ricardo is not pulling away from Failed either.
No, but Zegrease seems really aggressive for some apparent reason. I don't know. It's the last 3 corners. I don't know. He might make a bold move here.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to be gaining too much speed down the straight here. And again, I think that's going to be down to a setup. Oh, as Failed UX thinks about going for a move, but then Ricardo makes a really sudden blocking move across. That was almost a little bit too sudden. It was almost under braking, as now Failed UX is going down the inside of him, and now Zegrease is all capitalizing on all of that. Gonna go down the inside of Ricardo. They make a little bit of touching front wheel to back wheel, but they manage to keep it together. FYKV gets a 3-second penalty. Ricardo drops down to 4th. Failed UX moves back into 3rd. So this is all flipped back and forth. Now twice in this race. Failed UX loses the back and he's in the wall. Oh no! I don't know what happened there, but he's now down to 5th place, so he's out of winning this championship in this race, and we've only got 4 laps to go. Not much time to catch up. He's 2 seconds behind Zegries now, who's now in a great place for a podium run.
It might happen to Ricardo and Zegries. If he got that on lap 10 and it just happened to failed, it might happen to those two. They might just lose it out of nowhere.
And Failed does have his end plate missing on the left side of his front wing. And now he's also under attack from Frosthacker. And Frosthacker goes ahead and into the pits goes Failed UX. So that promotes W into 6th place. He's going to be well into the points here tonight, and he might even be in contention to run on Frosthacker if he's got the speed and the pace for it. Zegries, he's, as I said, in a great position and a great run for a podium finish here tonight. I'm not sure if he's got any penalties or anything else like that. We're going to have to wait until the end, but he is just outside of the DRS zone here, or he might be in. No, he is in DRS zone, so he's good to make a run on Ricardo, but he's just not making up enough time on that straight.
Yeah, I don't think he has the straight line speed. I think he can catch people in the corners, but not the straight line.
Yeah, Flip-Flop Fish, just as a reminder, he's now 12.4 seconds ahead of everybody in first place. Flying Jippo, who's had a great race so far. He's been really consistent, making up some good places and managing to avoid incidents throughout the whole night. He's currently in 2nd place. Ricardo in 3rd at the moment, under a lot of attack by Zegries, who's managed to move through the places throughout the race here tonight as well, and now currently running into 4th. But that is only down. That is only because of Failed UX, who had a massive incident and had to pit after getting some damage and spinning out.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sector 2.
Sector 2 is a yellow flag. It looks like somebody's parked. It looks like it might be... Is it Coleman or Mr. Clueless?
Yeah. No, it's Coleman.
Wow, and Flip-Flop Fish is still setting quickest laps. Wow. Oh no! We've got Zegries making a little bit of contact with Ricardo going through the last little curve before the chicane at the end of the lap, and they almost spun out each other. He's definitely pushing. He makes. Oh no! He made a little bit of contact and he almost pushed the car in front, and he spun out, and now he's dropped down to 6th place, and now 7th place, letting Latope move up into 6th, W into 5th. Frosthacker moves up into 4th place, and Ricardo is going to be able to keep his 3rd for now with only 2 laps to go in this Belgian Grand Prix, where we've had absolutely everything happening tonight.
I'm telling you, man, those tires are going down. Those mediums are going down, man. If Ricardo holds on, if he can hold on for 2 laps and just manage whatever percentage it is, and just manage it to the end, he'll be okay. But if he pushes, don't swerve and weave, he's gonna be in trouble.
Well, he's got a very, very decent gap at the moment. He's got 6.8 seconds. He's actually gaining time on Frosthacker and on W as well. Frosthacker definitely seems to be having a little bit of issues on his tires, as does W as well, riding the curbs and then coming out into slides out of the exit of the corner. So I think everybody is having a bit of trouble. W now touching the grass as well, coming into the double left-hander. Wow, this race so far has been absolutely, you know, amazing, tremendous, and amendous, I was going to say. It's a combination of both of those words, because I don't know how else to call this. Starting with last week as well as Azerbaijan, and now tonight in Belgium. Obviously, those are 2 tracks that deliver action all the time. But yeah, Flip-Flop Fish still improving. I think he's burning off some excess fuel, some excess ERS right now, giving it everything he's got. I mean, at the moment, he's got enough time to like pit and still come out within a couple of seconds of Flying Jippo, as we're now watching Zegries trying to catch up on positions after having a little bit of moment coming through the last chicane, trying to overtake Ricardo, instead tapping the back of him and then spinning out and almost touching the wall. But he does have a chance to gain a couple of positions back, maybe to overtake Latope here, as we are coming onto the start of lap 21 of 22.
Wow.
And now Zegris, as long as he can get a good run through... Oh, Failed UX now sets a fastest lap, but he did just pit because of that damage that he got before. Now, Zegris got a good run on Latope. Latope does still have DRS on W as well. He's managing to keep within that 1 second gap. Is Zegris going to go down the inside? He does, but he locks up a little bit. Now he's going to try to do the switch back around the outside into the left-hander, and then there's the right-hander, and he doesn't make it stick, unfortunately. Does not have enough space there. So Latope is still currently in 6th. We've got Sector 1. Yellow flag. So STK Hurricane retires from this race. So he's our 4th DNF of this race. So not quite half the field as you were predicting.
Yeah, it's all right.
Are you upset?
No. No, I'm actually happy with this race. It's just the tire management was a factor, if anything, with everybody's strategy here.
Yeah, I think for next season, one thing we need to start doing is maybe inviting more than just the podium finishers into the post interviews and talk to some people who had, you know, a really bad race or a race where they were having some incidents or something really crazy happen, and just sort of talking to them about what happened from their perspective as well. But yeah, so far tonight we've had lots of people having incidents, spinning out, tapping each other, having damage. We had a couple of safety cars, or I think, did we have just the one safety car so far?
I believe it was one.
Yeah, one, and a couple of VSCs. And now Mr. Clueless gets another 3-second penalty as well. I'm watching Zegris here as we are now on the last lap. He's only got a couple of chances to go here. Latope gets a really bad run through Radio and through a Rouge, so now that gets a really great chance for Zegris to close in, and he does move into 6th place. But I don't think he's going to be too happy with that after running in 3rd for most of the time. And Latope is out! Latope is out of the race. He crashed out. Crashed out into the wall, into that chicane. Oh, this is going to be super unfortunate for him. He was in such a great position to finish out this race, and now he's not going to be able to make it to the end. That does make Failed UX move into the points, into 9th place. FYKV moves into 8th. Bam Bam moves into 7th as well. Oh my goodness, that was really, really unfortunate for him. But this is league racing, and speaking of league racing, Flip Flop Fish comes around the last corner and wins again for another consecutive win in this league, in this season. Absolutely amazing performance from him, coming out of nowhere into this season and dominating for the last few races. Flying Jippo is gonna come around, and he's very happy, swerving around the line in 2nd place. Great race from him. Ricardo coming from the back and impressing once again. This guy's got some skill. Let's see what he can do next season. He's gonna be our 3rd podium finish here. W in 4th. Zegris moves up into 5th place because of Frosthacker getting another penalty. So Frosthacker is going to be in 6th. Bam Bam is just about to cross the line now in 7th place. FYKV crosses the line in 8th. Failed UX crosses in 9th. So not enough for him to win the championship here tonight. He's going to have to extend that for another race. But he does get a couple of points, which means that I think for next race he only needs to finish within like the top 8 or something like that. Dre Diggy is in 10th. Ben Swerven is in 11th. RC7, as long as he doesn't have any major penalties, will come around in 12th. Clueless in 13th. Red Wing is going to be our 14th finisher, and Coleman is going to be the last person at the end. But the main man here tonight, and last week, and the week before that, WSR Flip Flop Fish, the Catfish as you like to call him, he wins again.
Let's give credit to the Racing Point team, finishing 3 and 4, and then you also have Toro Ross. I think that was 5 and 7, I believe.
Alright, so a good performance for them, but Ferrari is on top tonight with Flip Flop Fish. And he's going to be very, very happy with that, getting the champagne again for another consecutive win. He's definitely been impressing me. He's definitely been impressing Mr. Sensation. I know that for sure.
Oh
He's
yeah.
been impressing, I hope, everybody else who's been watching him, because, I mean, this guy is absolutely amazing to watch. He's very consistent throughout the race. He does amazingly in qualifying as well. He's been taking pole positions here. And also, I really gotta give credit to Flying Jippo. He's done amazing here tonight, kept it clean, did a good job. Ricardo TV coming from 6th on the grid into 3rd. Great performance from him. W from 12th to 4th. Amazing recovery. Z-Grease from 2nd to 5th. Unfortunately, not a great performance from him, losing it at the end of the race there. Frost Hacker going from 14th to 6th. Great performance as well.
Oh yeah.
From Bam Bam 9th to 7th. FYKV, I think, again, when we said at the start of the race, he's got the potential to move up. He goes from 19th on the grid to 8th.
Wow.
Failed UX finishes in 9th, and Dre Diggy rounds up the last points finishers in 10th place. So, now we're gonna go to post, or actually, let's see who else we got here. Ben Swerven in 11th, RC in 12th, Red Wing in 13th, Mr. Clues in 14th, Coleman in 15th, Latopin 16th. He did not finish the race, unfortunately. STK did not finish, Not a Nerd, Jones, and Gordo. Gordo actually got disqualified for going the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sensation, how would you describe this one?
Wild and wacky.
So, that was very brief description, but go into more detail. What else? What were your impressions of
besides
the
wild
race
and
here
wacky.
tonight? While I'm inviting everybody into the post commentary.
Well, it's not your usual race where weather will play a factor, which I would look for. It was actually sunny the whole entire race. It was more or less the tire strategies. I think that threw people off completely after the Jones. Actually, I think we had two safety. Was it two safety cars? It feels like it was two. I know you had a virtual, and then Jones had with the virtual safety car. But I think really tire strategy really fried people's brains. 'Cause some people didn't know whether they go on the hards or should they stay on the mediums. Well, I'm already on the mediums. I can play it out a little bit longer, and then I can jump on the softs. Or I think really the tire strategy really threw a lot of people's game off tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. I can definitely agree with that. I've invited the top 3 finishers, but unfortunately, I don't have Ricardo, so I have to invite him right now. Give me one more second here, guys. I do really apologize for all of this. Just have to invite him real quick. All right, and then we'll be able to talk to them. And yeah, unfortunately, Failed UX did not manage to win the championship here tonight. He wasn't quite close enough, but he's got another chance later on in the season, or I mean next week as well, to possibly win and clinch this whole season. But you know, who were you most impressed with tonight, Mr. Sensation, other than obviously Flip Flop?
Well, Flying Jibba, I really not even had him on the radar, but he was pretty good. But I think you said Frost Hacker jumped from what 19th to 8th.
Yeah, something around there. I think he was like 16th or something like that. So he did very, very well. Um, and I think, yeah, definitely Flying Jippo did well tonight again. Do we have Flip Flop Fish here with us already? Hello, Flying Jippo? Can you hear us?
Is that Flying Jibba? Yeah, I got
All
you.
right, perfect.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, congratulations on second place, podium finish tonight. You definitely did a great job coming from a little bit back on the grid, starting and qualifying. How did it look for you tonight? Like, what really helped you out in the race? Was it the safety cars, or what sort of what was the key?
So I think number one key is definitely my Wi-Fi. The last like 4 races, I've been like having this terrible, like I've had to retire on like the opening laps because my Wi-Fi was just too bad to handle it. But I got new Wi-Fi, Shout out to Cox. I got new Wi-Fi and it's great, and I was able to use that to convert a good result, and hopefully I can maybe start chasing back down that second place out in the championship. That's really the most important thing to me right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good race. It was a really good race. I think definitely the safety car really helped out for once. It went in my favor, and I was able to pit on the mediums and stay ahead of everyone. I don't know if the stream caught, but when I overtook Segrist coming after the safety car, that was an absolute lunge, and that was incredible. That was probably one of my most favorite moves of the season.
Wow.
All right, man. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of moves happening everywhere. You were battling with a lot of people, and there was a lot of different trains going on. How were the tires for you? What was your strategy tonight, and how did that work out?
Well, it was just a one-stop strategy, short and simple. They felt really good, the tires. There's one point where they would kind of just go off, and then I was like, oh gosh, my tires feel like crap, and then they'd come right back on, and then I'd have that grip and could set some really fast laps.
All right, Sensation, do you have any questions for Flying Jumbo here today?
Yeah, when he just mentioned about the tires. Now you said it at one point it had like no grip, and then you got the grip back. What was the difference with that feel? Because I've been noticing like everybody between the mediums and the hard compounds.
Yeah, so I use a wheel, so it's really easy to kind of feel the tires more than on a controller.
Okay.
But no, it just like the grip would just completely go away, and one lap you'd be completely running wide and feeling kind of no grip whatsoever. Then the car would just feels completely hooked up. You just kind of, the people in the midfield just kind of have to learn how to, control that and to kind of expect that.
Okay.
All right, well, congratulations again. Great race tonight. I think out of everybody that I was watching tonight, other than Flip Flop Fish, you had pretty much the cleanest race. No major incidents, no problems, no mistakes. So that was very good. But speaking of Flip Flop Fish, I think he's with us in the party. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on another beautiful win. Again, just like last week, pole position, dominating from finish, no major mistakes, no major incidents, huge gap at the end. I think you were about 16 seconds ahead of everybody else. Honestly, I'm not even sure what to ask you anymore at this point. Just tell us a little bit about, I guess, how it went for you, and yeah.
Well, at the start of the race, I got out to about a 5-second lead over Seagrease, and the safety car came out because of my teammate. I'm not sure if he crashed on his own or if there was contact with somebody else. But the safety car came out. I wasn't really too happy about that. But on the restart, I noticed Seagrease, he had like an issue out of the final corner, and that led to all those guys from P3 on and back getting into like this massive train.
Okay, and I actually just got word from some people here that Failed UX did actually clinch this championship. Those few points were actually enough. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find them on the list of players here and invite him into the chat. Oh yeah, go ahead and invite him. It does look like he's actually not connected right now, but that's a little bit unfortunate from him. It would have been good to hear from our champion in this season. Let's see if maybe he manages to join up. But yeah, Flip Flop Fish, another thing I want to ask. We were talking about this in the stream. What are your plans for next season? Are you gonna stick around in this class and sort of try to dominate there, or are you going to move up into another into the higher tier?
I really want to beat them.
Oh wow!
So you're
Throwing
not even
down the gauntlet.
you're not even gonna try and go for a full season against Failed and then those sort of people?
No, I want the big boys.
All right, okay. Well, I did invite Failed into the session, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like he's connecting. I also couldn't find Ricardo, so unfortunately couldn't invite him into the post-race interviews. But congratulations again to all the top 3 finishers. You guys did an amazing job today. Out of everybody, as I said, I think the 3 of you had pretty much the cleanest races, while everybody else was in a bunch of trains and a bunch of battling and got caught up in a bunch of incidents. So this was an amazing race to watch. If you guys missed it out or if you joined late, please go back and rewatch it, because we had action from start to finish. People were switching positions. There was a bunch of people spinning out, just coming out of corners, which is what I was saying at the start of the stream. There's a lot of straight lines, but they are, at the end of a really tough corner, so you got to get really good exits. And that's exactly what we saw here today. We did have a safety car, a couple of VSCs, a couple of small incidents here and there. Mrs. Sensation, thank you so much again for joining me tonight.
Yes, no problem. So I enjoy, ever since we started up, so I enjoyed it, and we off next week. We got 4 races left. Hopefully you guys are prepared for Brazil, Canada, US, and Mexico.
Those are all very, very exciting races, absolutely. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Tomorrow we will be back here for Belgian Grand Prix again for the Platinum class. So that's going to be one you guys don't want to miss. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well, so you guys keep up with all the league action going on in all 3 classes of this season. We've only got a few more races to go, and we're off next week, as Mr. Sensation did mention. I also want to send out a big thank you to all the drivers tonight. You guys delivered a great race for us to commentate on again. And
definitely.
also want to throw a big shout out to our affiliate sponsor, Fanatec. There's a link in the description. Definitely check them out. They have some great products, as many of you already know. And also, big thank you again to all the league organizers. You guys keep on doing an amazing job every single week, planning all this stuff out, making all the graphics, our results, and everything else like that. We've already got a bunch of stuff lined up for next season from what I hear, so that's going to be a very exciting one. This has been BLIN-MACHINE with you guys again tonight as commentator, together with Mr. Sensation. Thanks again. Have yourself a great night. Mr. Sensation, have a good night, man.
Oh, sorry. You too. Everyone else, have a good night. It was great. It was great.
All right. Well, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for Platinum. Please don't miss that. Thank you again for watching.